So this is the view of the vegetable garden, the porch garden, what I call the cottage garden, and then the sun garden from our upstairs bedroom. Isn't that cool? There's a lawnmower. And here's the side little corner garden from the top. So just a little aerial view. If you can look out your window and have this view, it's so fun. It's amazing. I love to take pictures. I need a better camera to kind of take a really clear picture, but I wanted to show you guys what it looks like from inside upstairs. And we have a fun morning planned for you. It's a beautiful Friday morning, and this is pretty much the same day I'm going to upload this. So you are going to get a live look at what everything looks like quickly. And then I'm going to go over my top go-to fertilizers, deer repellents, and plants I'm going to add, because this whole picnic table is full of plants. So let's take a quick look around the yard, and then I'm going to go over a few things that help me make these gardens look amazing all the time and really thrive. So let's take a look first at the cutting garden. This empty space right here is where the poppies grew. So those were purple poppies. I just harvested all the seeds. By the way, I do a seed giveaway on my channel. Not on my channel, on my Facebook page. So if you like my Facebook page, I will announce a seed giveaway and just be the first few to comment on that. And then I will send you a various variety of seeds from my own garden. So these are a zinnia mix that I grew, and they are perfect for cutting. See how the stems are really long? And then the little, when you cut here, there's two little side shoots that are gonna produce more blooms. So if you can bring yourself to cut your cutting garden flowers, do it, because they're meant for that. I just I don't know, I have a hard time actually cutting my cutting flowers, but I did make a bouquet this year. These are Buddha's hand cosmos. These also could use a little staking, a little deadheading, but I love that they're so floaty and airy. I do have Strawflowers. These are so pretty. So I've seen these in bouquets before, but never actually grown them, and they are amazing. They have just, I don't know, the way that they open, they actually do feel like straw. You can hear that? They are like paper. I don't know, what's that little guy doing? And they come in different colors, but they're really pretty. Again, they have long stems, great for cutting. So those are amazing. I will definitely grow those again. I have hollyhocks here. Those I just kind of threw in there because I found them, and I'm not a big hollyhock person, but I figured I would try a couple this year. And then Lisianthus, the slowest growing annual that I will ever grow. But they're beautiful. They're white. These have a tinge of pink to them. I'm still waiting for this color. I'm not even sure what the third color was that I grew, but I have all of these, and they look like roses. So there was a cut flower florist that told me, if you have trouble growing roses due to the Japanese beetles, which I do, that these are like rose lovers' answer to growing them without pests. And they do not get any pests on these. These are like pretty easy to grow, and they look just like roses. They're so pretty, but they take forever. So I was at a nursery. Each pot of these plants, like one pot in a 4-inch pot, was $5. So I grew this whole section from seed because I bought the seeds online and did it myself. But I can tell you, I had to start them in the basement in January, and it was not fun. And they're still growing, and it's August. So but anyway, let's do a quick tour of this garden. And this is the cottage garden that, you know, I wasn't entirely pleased with, but it's got some color. It's still stuffed. Hydrangeas, so we have some asters, the lobelia, the hydrangea, those are all up and coming, but that is shaping up. Obviously we have the sun garden, and I'm just doing a quick show. There's killer green bananas. That was a new one that I added this year, and I don't know if you can see like the diamond dusting on the top of the petals, but it does glisten. It's amazing. Intense orange is starting to pop. Check that color out. It's pretty cool. The lobelia right there is starting. So this looks, you know, pretty happy. This is still in the shade. because in the fall, as we start to get into the later months, we have a lower sun path. So this doesn't get as much sun as it normally does at the height of summer. But everything just looks great. And I'll show you some things that I use to keep this garden going. What I do in the summer, what I do in the spring. So a few things. The number one thing people ask me about is deer. I'm going to add something, an event that happened to me the other day as I'm pulling in the driveway. I took 3 of our dogs to the vet for their checkup, and I pull in and this happens. So I just pulled in. People want to know if I have deer. Hey! Eating the flocks, man. What are you doing? Get! Look, he don't even care. Let's see how far he cares. So my dogs aren't here. Oh, now he's worried. Now he's worried. So anyway, yes, we have deer and they do not care. Most of the time the damage comes at night. But when the dogs are in the house, they definitely get a little courageous and come eat from the buffet. So unfortunately, we do have a ton, and we never have a season where we don't have deer damage. But I can tell you this is what helps. I'm not sponsored by any of these companies. I am not paid to say any of this. This is like honestly just what I use and what has been working for me. So Liquid Fence, deer and rabbit repellent. This is a concentrate. The recommended concentrate is 12 ounces per gallon. So on the side, they have these really nicely marked. There's a clear vision of how full the bottle is, and you can kind of measure so you don't have to know exactly what 12 ounces is. So they make it a little easy to pour it in. Again, one tip is if this doesn't work at regular strength, or you buy the ready to use spray and it doesn't work, buy the concentrate, fill that ready to use spray container up, and then add another 4 ounces of this. Make it stronger. It may suck for the first 3 hours that you apply it, and you'll have to go in your house because it stinks, but it does work for us. I don't have problems with rabbits. I know we have rabbits, but I've never really had to deal with those. So, but the deer are definitely a problem, and they are a big problem if I don't keep up on that. As a matter of fact, you just saw those glamour girls literally 2 days ago were being eaten right in front of my eyes, and the deer don't care. The other thing is people ask what I fertilize with. So a lot of the gardens get Neptune's Harvest. This is a seaweed and fish fertilizer. It doesn't smell like fish. They actually have created an emulsion where you don't have to worry about the raccoons and the other pests being drawn to this fertilizer. It does not smell. It has like a very light smell when you apply it, but it's not a really strong fish emulsion. So this is something, it has low NPK. If you notice, it says 2, 3, and 1, which doesn't sound like a lot, but I can tell you that whatever is in this, all of the seaweed, the fish, the kelp meal, this is what makes your plants have that green lush look. And if you have green lush plants, they thrive. They take in the sun. They create their own food. They will thrive. This greens up any plants. Like if you have any plants that are having trouble, even with iron and uptake, this will actually help fortify your plants. I absolutely love it. I've used this since the very beginning. It came as a highly recommended fertilizer, and obviously you can tell it works because the gardens do amazing even with damage and pests. They do survive pest attacks also. So another thing I do in the spring, this is Plant Tone from Espoma, and this is something, it's just an all-purpose granular fertilizer. I literally take a cup and I just throw it, and in the spring I cover that garden with granular fertilizer, and I do that before I mulch. So this gets a good dose. I don't even measure. I take like one of those bird seed scoops, and I just throw, and I throw it in just like an arching way, and I cover the whole garden because that thing is huge. And I go through quite a few bags. Like this bag is 37 pounds, oh, 27 pounds. They do make a bigger one, but
So 27 pounds, I'll probably go through about 6 of those in the spring and just throwing. And I actually go through the bigger bag. So I literally, I am pretty liberal at applying it because I have such crammed gardens that, trust me, something will use it and it doesn't burn. It is an organic fertilizer. Then the other thing for specific shrubs, especially hydrangeas, you guys know how many hydrangeas I have everywhere. Hollytone is great for hydrangeas and azaleas and rhododendrons, lilacs. I think there's a whole list of things that this is good for, but these are for your acidic loving shrubs. Except for the late frost that takes the buds on some of my hydrangeas, I have no issues, no real problems. And even when the hydrangeas are under attack from those 4-line plant bugs, they recover and they do well. So I just wanted to go over a few of the things that I use that are kind of just like my standbys for every year and what I do from spring to summer. As you can see, the picnic table's like covered in plants. These are dahlias that I grew and that are just starting now to create their buds. I was pretty late getting these in the pots, and I did pinch them back. So that's why we're just starting now to see the branching out and just now starting to see flowers. So I'm hopeful that these will actually bloom pretty late into the summer, and hopefully our weather stays nice enough where we can enjoy them for a long time. So I also mentioned I was going to get the Bleeding Hearts Heliopsis. So I did find some good stock at a local nursery. I bought 3 more of those to fill in that sun garden patch behind the rock. So I'm excited about that. You can stay there, Blake. My son is filming today, so I get to talk all to myself. I know some of you are going to be totally disappointed, but some of you will not. I've had quite a few comments about my annoying husband. But also, check this out. This is a lavender I found. It's variegated. It's called Platinum Blonde. So if you know, lavender usually has like that bluish silver foliage, which I love. This is like variegated with the same purple flowers, the same amazing smell. So I'm trying one because lavender is a little temperamental here in zone 5, but I couldn't help it. I had to try it. And then these beauties. Can you get in here, Blake? Look at this. This is a big hummingbird plant. This is Crocosmia. Those are corms. So those grow from almost like little long, like tuber bulbs. I had those a few times and something ate through my corms every time and they never came back. So these were in bloom. It was a pretty full pot and I couldn't help myself. So there they are again. I'm gonna try and add those somewhere in that beautiful sun garden. But I love those, and I just hope maybe if I hide them in the sun garden, something won't go through and eat the corms, because that's annoying. I also found this beauty, because you guys know I love red, right? This is like such a beautiful red. This is called Forever Red. Forever Red. And there was 3. I mean, how lucky could I be? So I'm now the proud adopted parent of 3 Forever Red Heuchera. And at one of the local organic farm shops that I frequent, this is Ice Ballet milkweed. So this is a white milkweed, and look at the stalk. I mean, this is pretty full. I love this plant. So I'm adding more milkweed for, what am I adding milkweed for, Blake? Who eats the milkweed?
Monarchs.
Yep. So I'm adding the milkweed for monarchs, and I'm getting different varieties. I do have orange butterfly weed. I have the pink one. I did a tropical one this year. I'm hoping makes it. But anyway, these I know will make it. And white's pretty. I like white. So I am going to start planting more milkweed and more host plants. So here's another tip. A lot of people, if you're just starting out gardening and you get the butterflies to your yard or to your planter and you're like, oh, I had butterflies, and you're so obsessed with them like me, find out what the host plants are in your area and plant them. For us, we get black swallowtail butterflies and dill, fennel, parsley. Those are easy. Those we can grow in our vegetable garden, and that's how we found them originally. So now we plant a little section just for them. The milkweed for monarchs. We have tiger swallowtails. There are cherry trees that are host, ash trees, birch trees, elm. They will draw in your butterflies. So if you have a host plant, the adults are most likely to stay around because they have a place to lay their eggs. So that's just a tip. If you like a certain butterfly, find out what their host is and plant it, because I promise you, after a couple years, they get used to it and then they start coming in droves. Another fun thing I wanted to share. See this? Doesn't look like much. Matter of fact, I need to like clean it up a little. This is daylily seed, a daylily seed plant. I planted this in my basement in November. I put them under lights. I wanted to sprout them because daylilies take forever when you grow them from seed. They take 2 to 3 years to bloom. Well, this I grew Thursday. Where did that come from? Thanksgiving. They both start with TH. I grew it from Thanksgiving on, and in hopes of getting a bloom, because I'm impatient, of course. And check this out. So I have a couple more of these. I have like 5 pots of these. I planted some in the garden. They also have scapes. So I'm gonna see what my crosses look like from my own yard this year. And they'll probably be hideous, but I gotta tell you, I'm super excited. This is the first time I have a first year bloom on a seed cross. So it does work. You just have to like pamper them from Thanksgiving through winter. And then in August, which is what, 10 months? 9-10 months? The potential is there to see your beautiful cross come to fruition. So anyway, let's go check out the patio. You guys want to see how the patio garden's filled in? This is Miss Ruby, by the way. Miss Ruby took forever to bloom, and you know what? It's part shade here, so it's doing okay. It is blooming. It's healthy. It's not as big as it was when I bought it, but I get that. I did stick it in the wrong spot. My blue hydrangeas. Woohoo! I cut a few of those for a vase. Can you believe it? My hostas are blooming. So this is the patio garden. We are getting quite a bit of blooms on the hydrangeas. I am going to do an update specifically on the hydrangeas. But the patio garden is filling in. There's the daylilies. Planters are still looking good. We just had a little get together last night because my mother-in-law passed away. It's actually Brian's father's girlfriend of 30 years who is basically just like my mother-in-law. She's was a wonderful person. But anyway, so the patio's a little messy, but the black-eyed Susan vine definitely took over. Those are going to come out for some roses in the spring. I have those on order. And then the sweet autumn clematis. Check this out. This is a variety called Sweet Summer Love. So instead of white flowers, it gets these purpley flowers with almost a little red hue when they first open. This is a little sparse because I moved it after it was already growing and then I had to cut it back. But I think I'm going to be pretty happy with the way that fills in that side of the arbor. And then, I mean, look through that. That was my dream, right? Is this little peephole to see the other gardens. So it is working. I do love it. The hydrangea back there, the fountain. See how much that salvia filled in below the fountain? And I have a little bit of a rainbow mess here with the coneflowers. So these are coneflowers that I actually planted from seed. You can tell I have a lot of the Cheyenne Spirit yellow. So I must have took the yellow seed head and planted all of them. But anyway, so I have to do a little reorganizing of this, but I'm not going to do it now because it's just beautiful and I don't want to interrupt the color I do have. So that looks good. Quickfire's doing well. No, not Quickfire. What is the name of this? Firelight. Firelight looks amazing. So yeah, so this is kind of fun. The patio did fill in. Planters look good. Daylilies are settling in. Some happier and better than others, but you know what? Overall, we had a good first year, a good first settling in. This little holding bed, it's getting some sun right now through a gap in those trees. See that gap right there where the big maple was taken down? We're getting some sun from that gap right now. So the astilbes are going off.
And this is kind of pretty. It's got like drifts of pinks, purples, lime green, this bluishy silver hue to the catmint, the purple hyssop. We have blue vervain in there, which is pretty much done blooming, and then the pink coneflowers. So yeah, this is kind of interesting. It is shaping up. I see some drifts and some fun, maybe just pink, purple, lime color theme going on there. So we'll see. That's shaping up nice. The red bud looks amazing, even though I lopped off that top branch by accident. And then of course, we have the sun garden, or the shade garden, which did have some deer damage, but it's getting a little bit of sun right now with that gap. And look what's happening to my sedum. Kind of opened up in the center. So I have to probably stake these up a little bit, but this year, you know what? I'm getting tired. My ruby spice is starting to bloom. Ugh, look at that. That clematis is not happy. You know what? That has to come out of there. Anyway, I haven't had luck growing clematis at all on that thing. I think I'm gonna give up on that. But anyway, so this is just a quick view of this garden. Looks pretty good still. The Russian comfrey filling out pretty well. And yeah, so all of the hostas are kind of getting to get cleaned up with their blooms. Not a big flower hosta fan, but the hummingbirds do like some of them. So, but anyway, hope you enjoyed this. Hope it was helpful. And yeah, if you have questions, ask away. Enjoy your weekend, guys.